The next episode of The Commercial Break starts now.
Oh, yeah, cats and kittens, welcome back to The Commercial Break. I'm Bryan Green. This is my dear friend and the co-host of this show, Chris and Joy Hoadley. Best to you, Krissy.
Best to you, Bryan.
Best to you out there in the podcast universe. Thanks for joining us. Sophie Rain. Does the name ring a bell? Sophie Rain.
No.
Sophie Rain
not.
is apparently the highest paid OnlyFans actress, I guess, sex worker. I'm not sure what the appropriate term is, but let's just say
content creator.
Content creator. There you go. That's a good one. As we are here, but no one's paying to see me naked. Nothing in my butthole. Sophie Rain is being called out by her fellow OnlyFans stars such as Farrah Abram of Teen Mom fame.
Yes,
Do you
that's
remember
right.
Farrah?
Of course.
She did the porn movie, then claimed she didn't do the porn movie. Then the porn movie came out, and everyone knew that clearly she did the porn movie. Farrah, who is completely unhinged in my opinion, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, you used to love that show.
Oh God, Teen Mom was.
I could never.
I can't keep up with it anymore.
We were working together at Clear Channel.
Oh,
just
Teen
getting
Mom
to know
was-
each other.
I know,
and you were like, I love Teen Mom. I was like, what?
There's something so fascinating about watching those young ladies try and navigate life with children. Then once I got children, I was like, not so fascinating anymore. Now I totally understand where they're coming from. And it's very difficult work. I mean, listen, I always thought it was difficult work. I was never under the impression it wasn't. But I don't know, the way their lives unfolded became like of interest to me. And Farrah in particular was a real hot cat. I mean, she was just like always screaming and yelling about something, and everybody did her wrong song, and it was like one big country song was Farrah's life.
Right.
But then she went on, then they kicked her off the show because she was so difficult, and then she went on to porn fame, I guess is the best way to say it.
That's the next step.
Yeah, now she's on OnlyFans after protesting that she was
And
not
that's the
in
next
fact.
step
That's the
after
next
that.
step. That's right. Well, OnlyFans makes it easy for people
Right.
to be in the sex work business and make good money doing it if you can amass a following. I guess if you're good at what you do, then just like anything in life, just like the Commercial Break has 5,000 almost Instagram followers, Farrah Abram has, I guess, millions of people that are out there watching her OnlyFans. Good for her. Sophie Rain went on Twitter, I think it was, and put a screenshot of her OnlyFans revenue for 2024. She claimed she made $43 million in 2024, including a $4 million tip from one happy customer. One very happy customer indeed. $4 million. I mean, who's got that kind of jingle jangle? Obviously, this is somebody who's trying to get her attention.
Yeah, that would get your attention.
Listen, if someone tipped me $4 million, I would be gaping anus everywhere. I'd be like, hey, no problem. It's $4 million. I'm ready. Whatever you want, I got. But other stars on OnlyFans are calling her out, saying that's clearly bullshit. You did not make $43 million on OnlyFans. It's very hard to make that kind of money on OnlyFans. And from what I understand, I mean, listen, we're content creators, so we get it. We know how much content creators make. It's very difficult to get into the millions of dollars unless you have hundreds of millions of downloads or views or whatever. I know OnlyFans is different because I guess you can tip in there. I don't really know because I've actually never paid for an OnlyFans subscription.
Yeah, and I think you can sell things too, like sell like a package of photos
or your
something.
urine, like that one girl.
Or your
from,
urine, or your
90
farts.
Day Fiancé, or your farts in a jar, like that one girl did. Or the bath water. Remember
the
the lady was selling the bath water, and
Right.
she was making good money doing that. I think someone paid her like $100,000 for some of her bath water. I wish that anybody was that interested in me because I would not be too proud to do that. I'm not sure the
Plus
parents at my
your
kids' school
shower
would
water.
appreciate it. My shower, well,
Because you take like 3 showers a day.
there's plenty of shower water to get. That would be gallons and gallons every time. I got plenty of it. But $43 million seems like like, let's put it this way. Joe Rogan makes about that much for about a half a year worth of work. And by all accounts, he's getting, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 million downloads on episodes of his show. That's a lot. You have to have a lot of people engaged in your content. And I might agree with Farah on this one. While I don't agree with her on a lot, I might agree that seems like a very large amount of money to make for such a kind of niche platform. And Sophia Rain, while very beautiful, is she going to be? That's like a very specific thing. You have to be really. I guess it's a niche, right? You have to. That's a niche, and then to gain $43 million doing that niche, I don't know. So, and then she posted a screenshot of her revenue. So, is it bullshit? Will OnlyFans come out and confirm or deny? The drama drop continues. I will keep you posted. Thinking about getting a subscription.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Okay.
OnlyFans.com. I don't know who
I'm
owns
just curious.
OnlyFans.
Is it like a big company or
it is a large company?
One person? I don't know.
No. It's got to be. There's got to be employees.
Well, no, I know there's employees, but I wonder how it got started, or if it was even in this country.
Who started?
I have Googled it over here. Your fact checker.
Yes,
go ahead.
Please, Christina.
Hello.
Hi, Christina.
It is Leonid. I don't know how to say that name, but it looks like Leo with Nid on the end. Leonid Radvinsky.
Okay. It was one person.
UK-based Ukrainian-American billionaire businessman and computer programmer.
Oh. He's a billionaire now, that's for sure.
That is for sure.
He's the majority owner of OnlyFans, and he also is the founder of a campsite called My Free Cams.
All right.
Oh, My Free Cams.
Good for him.
Yes, I'm a frequent customer on My Free Cams.
The founders are Guy and Tim Stokely.
Okay. Oh, Guy and Tim.
Guy and Tim, two just regular guys on the street paying their neighbors to get naked.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, let's make this into a business. God damn, I wish I had
sells.
one really good idea like that and could actually put it to the test. I knew there was a guy that was, when we were in our Clubhouse days, there was a guy who approached me. He had a very similar...
He approached about what?
I don't know. He thought that I was going to add some
We're
value
talking
to
about
this conversation.
OnlyFans, and then you're talking about a guy who approached you.
He did approach me in a very similar. He said, listen, I've got this subscription-based website that I'm starting to kind of compete with places like Patreon and OnlyFans, and it's only going to be for the elite of the elite, like, stars and athletes and, people who wanted to, porn stars and stuff like that. And I said, oh, okay. So he said, can we get on I know you have a background in internet marketing. Can we get on a phone call where you talk me through your content creation and internet marketing background? So I did. And then I thought to myself, well, if this takes off, this guy, maybe I'll hitch a ride on this guy's back, right? Maybe I'll ditch that commercial break in Clubhouse and get on this guy's coattails. And then I saw the kind of stars he was getting, and it was like a friend of the Real Housewives of New Jersey with 4 followers. And there was absolutely no steam behind that engine. So the thing about what makes OnlyFans, I think, such a success story is not only is it a good idea and not only is it a good idea that also has a good interface that's easy to use, but then it caught the imagination of the collective consciousness at the right time during the pandemic.
Yeah,
when everybody was looking to whack off.
I take a dick and keep on licking.
Exactly. When everybody was looking to get off without getting COVID. So OnlyFans really exploded. And, I say, I've said this
Best to you.
about OnlyFans many times.
Sonia or Sophia?
Sophia Rain. I'm going to ask Astrid if I can get a subscription for show research purposes. That's right. Remember I was talking about that website, that sponsor that was going to come on that was teaching women and men how to give women an orgasm?
Yes.
So for research purposes, and I swear to God I was on that site this morning looking at something so I could communicate about the sponsorship, and Astrid walked in and she's like, what in the fuck? I said, honey, the kids are at school. I'm just doing a little show research.
Your time.
Yeah, so when it says OnlyFans, Sophia Rain, $4 million tip, show research. Who gives a $4 million tip? Saudi Arabian prince?
I was going to say, yeah.
That's what I would think.
Big oil.
Big baby oil?
Big
corporate
oil.
baby oil? That's right. Bitcoin enthusiast? Early investor in Bitcoin,
Yeah.
I would say. I told you about this guy that I know in Seattle who was buying Bitcoin way back when it just first started. He liked it. He thought it was cool. He thought it was interesting to have Bitcoin, right? Even though at the beginning there was absolutely no use for it whatsoever. And the guy had like 500 Bitcoin. Bitcoin went over $100,000 yesterday.
I saw that.
So he's got, according to sources that I have on the inside, he's got like 350 of those Bitcoin. The guy is like a verified millionaire.
Cash out.
I know. Cash out. Stay in.
No. I'm of the mind, like, if I go to Vegas or something and I win, then I leave.
Yeah, you're smart. Yeah, that's why you're not a friend of any casino. Is
That's
because
true.
They hate people like you and me because I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
I go to Vegas, I get $500 out of the ATM.
Right,
I
and
say
that's
to
to
myself,
play with.
That's it, right? $500.
You can lose it, or if you start winning, then cash out.
If I win, I don't always cash out, but I know I've got that $500 to play with. Like Astrid and I went to this place in the Dominican Republic, the Hard Rock in the Dominican Republic.
I've
the Hard
been there.
Rock
I stayed
Resort.
there.
Yeah, that's right. There's like bands that play there all the time and stuff like that. So we went there. Beautiful resort, lovely people, great experience. But they have a casino there, and it's a casino in the Dominican Republic. It's not Las Vegas, but it's pretty big for, I would say, a hotel casino in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, we walked through there.
And we're walking by the slots every day. You have to kind of walk through the casino to get into this little food and beverage area, And so we would walk by. And then like the third day, I'm like, let's get out $50 and we'll see what happens. We'll throw it in the slot machines. And we won like $125.
Nice.
And so I was like, that's it. Okay, great, wonderful. But then every time we walked in or out of the casino, we found ourselves at the ATM really excited that, in fact, we could win more than $125. So we were down like $700 by the time we left. And I was like, that's it. I'm done. I've given them enough of my money.
I know.
But that's why I will never have a frequent flyer card at any of those casinos, is because I know instinctively that the house always wins.
Of
and
course.
I also know instinctively that I'm really dumb with money. So it's,
Of course.
I can be dumb with money in a lot of things. I just don't want to lose
Right.
it gambling. I don't.
Yeah, I agree. Unless you just really love the game you're playing, like you just really love to play poker, or you really love to play the game itself, then I guess then you're paying to play.
What's your favorite
fun.
game to play at a casino?
I guess blackjack.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Blackjack. But right behind it, very closely, is the roulette wheel.
Oh, I do like some roulette.
That is my
Big money.
Yeah, big money. That is my downfall. There was a guy online. I was watching this. Like I follow a few gambling people and how they teach you how to like play cards and gamble, and so they give you tips. And it was a guy who specializes in table games, and he was showing you how you can pretty much, over the course of some period of time, beat the casino every time by betting in this certain pattern on the roulette wheel.
Really?
But you have to put like 30 chips down in a different place, in different places, every single time, the exact same way every single time.
Oh.
And so he had this guy is so into creating content about table games, he has the tables at his house, and he like hires dealers to show you how to do it, right?
That's
so he's got a
cool.
little casino in his basement or whatever. So he was showing
I'd love to have a
Isn't that
roulette
really
wheel
cool?
in my basement.
Yes,
That
I'd
would be
love
fun.
to. One time I found like online I was in Costa Rica, and I found like online gambling, because it was legal there at the time.
Yeah.
And I found this pop-up ad for like online roulette. I must have sat there. $100. I must have sat there for like 4 hours just gambling on roulette online. And then I thought to myself, what a dumb fucking idea, Brian. It's rigged inside of the casinos.
yeah.
It's clearly rigged on a
Of
computer.
course.
Yeah, they're not going to let you win. That's never going to happen. Why are you doing
No,
this?
they give you a little snippet of winning, and so
Yes.
you get excited, and then you lose.
But let's say that I am a single guy with a lot of Bitcoin, or I'm very good at gambling, and I have amassed a fortune. I don't know. I have $100 million to my name. There is no way, under any circumstances, that someone on OnlyFans will get $4 million of my dollars. Like a $50,000 tip, I think would be enough to. I think the intended purpose is probably to get the attention of Sophie Rain,
Yeah.
and hopefully he did, because that's a huge fucking tip if indeed it happened. But there's just no way that I would waste that kind of. You
No.
must have no concept of money if you're spending $4 million
Right.
on one OnlyFans content creator, and then what are you getting out of that? Like, I don't really want to. I don't know if I don't want to know the answer to that. I know Christina shoots sex. Yes, sex, a blowjob. That's what he's getting out of it.
Well, I just also wanted to tell you it's Sophie Rain.
Oh, Sophie Rain. Why do I
Yeah.
keep on saying Sophia?
I don't know.
I know why I keep on saying Sophia, but I won't say it here. But I'll share it with the ladies of the studio after we get done with this. There's just no way under the sun I'm giving anybody $4 million.
I can't imagine doing that.
When you live under a porch For some period
That's
of your
right.
life, you will never give $4 million as a tip to anybody. Largest tip you've ever given to anybody.
Largest tip.
The largest tip you've ever given to anybody.
I mean, I'm trying to think about where I've tipped. I've certainly never.
Like out of proportion tip. Now, I'm not talking about you go to dinner, you have a $500 bill, and you give them $100 or $110.
That's
$20.
probably about what I've done. I don't know.
20%?
No, I mean, I've done like 50%.
Oh, you've done 50%?
Yeah.
On a large bill?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
If it was a great service and it was on the company card.
Astrid, bring the company card. That's right. Do you remember one time that the boss of Clear Channel pulled me aside and started bitching about you and me going to the restaurant on the company card?
Oh, yeah.
I think one time I went to Waffle House. It was the holidays. We were in Orlando. We were with the family. We were going to the parks and stuff like that. It was for New Year's Eve and for New Year's Day. So everybody went out somewhere. They went shopping. Mm-hmm. And I went to I took a nap, and then I went to Waffle House to get something to eat for dinner. And the bill was
How nice.
$17.
It's a family vacation. You took a nap and went to Waffle House by yourself.
Welcome to being a gringo in a Venezuelan family. That's
I
it.
just
That's
was
how it
thinking
goes.
about that for a second.
Yes, that's me. That's what I do. I avoid all communication outside of the studio.
You know,
I'm
we took a big family vacation. Everybody else went out. I took a nap and went to Waffle House.
Krissy,
okay,
that's
got
my
it.
kind of vacation. When you have 13 to 15 children, you can understand that you just need a break sometimes
Yes.
from all the drama. And I gave the lady who was there we got into a conversation, and she communicated that, she had small children and she was a single mother. And this was not like, she wasn't giving me an oh me, poor me story. I was just
you were
curious.
making conversation.
Yeah, it was like the only one in the Waffle House. It was like New Year's Day. I was the only one at night, and I was the only one at the Waffle House. And I was just communicating, just talking with her, having a little chitty chatty. And I left her a $250 tip on
That was
a
very
17.
nice.
I felt so good about myself, and I'm feeling so good about myself that I get to announce that live here on air. Don't you think I'm a good person now? Don't you realize what kind of human being I am after I've shared that story in such a humble way? Yes. I am a big tipper, and I have a huge dick. Let it be known worldwide.
That was very sweet.
From the valleys to the hollows, let it be known that Bryan tipped good one time. While avoiding his family on a family vacation. While avoiding all responsibility, Bryan was at Waffle House, getting close to the waitress. Congratulations to me. I am incredible. $4 million. I mean, that's out of proportion tip. I just felt extremely generous in that moment. Her story struck me, and I was like, oh, this lady, she probably has to wait on 55 tables just to make $70 a day or something like that. She's got to really, really hustle. She was good at what she did. She was very kind. I felt for her circumstances.
Those
and I decided
servers at the Waffle House are good.
that you have to be.
You really do.
You have to be. There's no slackers at Waffle House.
No.
I've never
the cooks,
seen
the servers, the dishwashers, everybody. I mean, they've got it down.
Say what you will about Waffle House, but it is a
love Waffle
Southern
House.
institution. Mm-hmm. It is never closed. Very rarely is it closed. I mean, I've heard they've closed for hurricanes and stuff like that, but it is never closed. Why they have locks on the door, I don't know. Probably to keep the crazies out when it gets a little nutty sometimes. Waffle House. We'll keep you out. Waffle House. When you get kicked out, you know you're a shithead. Waffle House. Put your pants back on. Yeah. You can come inside. So that Waffle House is a Southern institution. It is always on. It is always there for you. You will always be greeted with a somewhat friendly face. You will get the same food every single time. It's a greasy spoon, and man, is it goddamn good, especially after a long night of drinking or drugging. I love the Waffle House. And those people work extraordinarily hard, probably for not a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if they're passionate about their jobs, but they don't seem
like it.
They don't seem dispassionate about their job. I'm sure not everybody is happy to be working at the Waffle House, but they seem to take there's a pride in getting it done efficiently and quickly and cleanly. And I don't have enough praise for a Waffle House. As a matter of fact, I want Waffle House right now. That's what I want.
I know.
Waffle
I want
House
it too.
right now.
Scattered, smothered, covered in
Get
dice.
us lunch, Bryan.
Hey,
God.
listen, what do you think? I'm made of money around here? That was back then. Now, did you hear that President-elect Mr. Donald Trump has been bantering around the idea of allowing podcasters like ourselves to be at White House? I mean, not ourselves. We're not going to get invited to anything, but, like other people who have cachet and importance in that Trump circle, like Rogan, Theo Vaughn, and others, to be in the White House press briefing rooms. They're essentially getting credentialed to be White House press. And there's a lot of conversation going on about this, and some people have confirmed that in fact they may allow podcasters to be in the press room. Okay. I wanted to get your take on this. What are your thoughts on allowing podcasters like Theo Vaughn or Joe Rogan into the White House press room?
Why not? Why not see how it goes?
Okay, you take a very interesting angle on that. Why not see how it goes?
Well, I mean, they reach a lot of people.
True.
And it is kind of like the new media in a lot of ways. I guess it depends on how they present it. I don't know. I mean, what do you going in there and you're just recording it and then broadcasting it to your people?
I think this is like letting the Haktua girl do our hurricane reporting because she knows about wet things. And so let me share my opinion.
Okay, well, please.
My opinion is this. Nothing against Rogan or Theo Vaughn. They're powerful podcasters who do a lot for the industry. And how you feel about their show personally is whatever. But they are not news reporters. They don't report the news. They report opinions. And kind of knowing about things and talking about things are two different things. Like, I don't know about things. I just talk about things. It's clear that I don't know about things if you listen to the fucking show. I have no idea about anything. But I'm also not giving anybody the impression that I do. Like, I'm not trying to report the news here, right? So Rogan and Theo are the same way. They're not newscasters. They don't report on the news. So they go to the White House press briefing room and they listen to something, and then they go back to their listeners, and then they have a conversation with their followers about their opinion about what was said. That's not reporting the news. That's just being opinionated.
Well, what's the difference between just reading what was said in a news or watching what was said in a news and then giving your opinion on that?
So someone, well, I mean,
a news briefing.
Right. You can read or watch it, right? So the people that are in the press room typically are news reporters, right? I don't even know what that means. I have no idea, right? I don't think you need any special kind of magic to be a news reporter. But I think their job is to listen to what's being said, report back on the facts, right? This is what they said. This is how it was said. This is the context in which this particular situation is being discussed. Report the facts, ma'am. Right now, I totally realize that doesn't happen a lot in 2024.
Fox News doesn't do that. CNN doesn't do that, but they're in the room too.
They're in the room also, but their reporters are not there to be opinionated. They don't have 4 hours of conversation. I mean, that's not what they're supposed to be there for. I just think it's kind of a little bit of a bastardization of what the White House press briefing is even for in the first place. It's like you're there to report. The White House is the White House press briefing is we're updating you on what's going on inside of the West Wing. And that's not always factual either. There's lots of bullshit coming out of their mouths. I'm not saying that Joe Rogan or Theo Vaughn would mean anything malicious by going back and talking to their audience about what they heard inside of the press briefing room. I just think that, I don't know. To me, it feels like it's opening up a can of worms. It is the new media. It is where most people are getting their information. YouTube and podcasting has officially seeing its day in the sun, for sure, without a doubt. But I just don't know about letting anybody in the press room just because we happen to like them. Feels a little bit, I don't know, it feels a little too loosey-goosey to me. And maybe I'm a bit of a traditionalist, and I would prefer that news come from news reporters, news sources. Like, when you read the Washington Post, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, or even when you get a report from a newscaster on Fox or on CNN, typically you're not watching for them. You're not there for the personality. You're listening to what they're saying, how they're communicating, what's going on inside of the West Wing as per the White House press briefing. You're not there for the personality. You're not there for their opinion. People have been opinionating on that for a long time. And I hear you. Like, what's the danger in just letting them in the room?
Yeah, I guess my difference is that, like Anderson Cooper, I really like him, so I am watching for him and maybe his take on what happened that day. And I know Fox News has got their people that they like, whatever. Different outlets have personalities,
Sure.
I feel like, that do give their opinions on what was said
Sure.
in the press briefing.
I don't think Anderson is inside the press briefing room. I think he communicates his opinion on what was said inside of the White House press briefing room, right? Because he clearly has an opinion show, right? Just like Tucker Carlson does, or whoever is on Fox News, and just like, I don't know, Rachel Maddow and that Jose Diaz-Balart.
Your favorite guy.
Ay, Dios mío, Jose.
And up next.
And up next, Joe Rogan. Should he or should he not talk? We'll get more on that later. Thanks, Jose. Again, this is just my opinion because this is what we do. We opinionate on things. We don't necessarily know all the facts. We don't necessarily have a clear understanding of any of the issues. But, it'd be honestly like letting me in the press briefing room to then come back and report to the world on what's going on inside of the press briefing room would be a dumb fucking idea. It just would. I wouldn't remember. I'd pretend like I knew.
Well, maybe I'm thinking about this differently, but isn't it open? Like, it's not like it's a closed room, right?
No, you can't just walk in there.
No, but I mean, it's not like it's not open to the public to view it. Like, don't they always, isn't it on C-SPAN or on something, or I don't know?
Yeah, but here's another.
It's not like in a back dark room.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it is in a back dark room.
And then
but
people are coming out of there and reporting.
C-SPAN oftentimes covers all, I think they do actually cover all of the White House press briefings, as they do all of the congressional sessions and all of the things that go on that they can, report on in the government. However, no one watches C-SPAN ever for any of that information. And that's, I guess, another point, and maybe this could go either way, is that I don't think the typical commercial break listener, or the typical Theo Vaughn listener, or the typical Joe Rogan listener, or Call Her Daddy or whatever, I don't think any of us are sitting around watching C-SPAN White House press briefings. Right. So if the only source of information you have is Bryan Green telling you what happened, then you are fucked as a human being as far as knowing and understanding what's going on in our government, because I am just going to give you my opinion. I'm not a trained reporter. I didn't go to school for that. I don't know, how to report.
But I think the cat's out of the bag on that, though. I think at this point, it's all people looking to hear other people's opinions. Social media, that's where a lot of people are getting their news from, too.
Oh, God,
and
we
that's
are so screwed.
Yeah, it really is. I think we just have to accept that it's a whole new world. Yeah. And if you do really want straight facts, you go to Reuters or, the Associated Press or C-SPAN. Otherwise, you're going to your favorite podcaster or your person on influencer on social media or whatever. I mean, I think that's what people are seeking out.
Yeah, I hear you. I know that it's like, you're swimming upstream with a lot of these things, but it just seems like yet another move toward the movie Idiocracy. That's as far as I'm concerned.
I don't disagree.
I feel about it. I mean, it's like, the press is what do they call it? The fourth estate, right? The press is supposed to be the fourth estate. And what the press means these days is very nebulous. Does it mean Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn in the commercial break? I'm not putting myself with Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn. Thank you. We are in a different class. Thank you very much. A class that gets much less money and many few listeners. But at the end of the day, it feels like we're one step away from putting a neon sign in front of the White House. Vacancy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we are.
Oh, no. I know it. Oh, I know it.
I've just come to accept.
Oh, I know it. And I'm just like, I'm trying to decide in my head. Yeah. Are we going to do any splitting of hairs, or it's just like the baby is directly going to go out with the bathwater? I don't know. It feels
sad.
Doomed. It feels like we're doomed. It feels like we're doomed.
Yeah.
And to be clear, it's not because it's not because Joe Rogan specifically or Theo Vaughn specifically. I'm mentioning them because they are the most mentioned in these news stories that are coming out, where Don Jr. is saying they've talked about this, it's going to happen, they're going to let these people in the press room and all this other stuff. But then again, Trump's saying a lot of stuff, and some of it's just not. He's finding a lot of headwinds, like what was that guy's name? Matt Gaetz.
Oh, God.
Matt Gaetz.
That
Matt
guy's
Gaetz.
awful.
Oh, he's terrible. Now he's doing, you know what I saw? He's doing cameos.
I saw that.
Cameos.
I saw that.
$550 to get a cameo. It's $25 from Big Ed at 90 Day Fiancé, and he's 10 times more entertaining and less creepy. And that's saying something because Big Ed's fucking creepy. So I'm telling you right now.
I know. Who is paying that?
I don't know. Well, when I saw it, I immediately went into his Cameo page, and I was like, I got to see how much this guy's charging. $550. There was 4.
Well, he doesn't have a job now. He quit his job.
He doesn't.
So.
It's like that was crazy. He quit because he was going to be the attorney general, and then all of a sudden he's like, well, this is not going to work out clearly, and so he just jumped ship, which I would have too if I was directly in his position. I wouldn't want that's even more scrutiny than he already had on him, and he's not exactly been the brightest, the star student in the classroom. So $550. So then when I went and I looked to see, you have to give a review, I think, every time you do a cameo.
Okay.
You have to give them some kind of star or something. I think that's how it works. So you look at someone like Big Ed or some of these stars out there, reality stars, they have thousands, tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of stars, ratings, right? And Matt Gaetz had been on for 3 days and he had 4 ratings. It was like, oh, okay, well, at least he's not getting a ton of traffic on that website.
I can imagine
you got to do
why.
a lot of cameos to make money. At $550, at $550, you have to hope that 10,000 people come and pay $550. I would do them if I was on Cameo, which I could be. I know some people who are on Cameo who have 2,000 Instagram followers and they have a Cameo page. I don't know who's paying for that Cameo, but okay, good for you. I guess we could have Cameo pages.
We could do it.
What kind of Cameo would we do?
Well, I mean,
don't you
read
Jason's
things
birthday.
that you want people to say, or that people want you to say?
Yeah, you have to write a little something. So, hey, Jason, it's Bryan and Krissy here on Cameo from the commercial break, and we're so happy it's your birthday. We have no fucking clue who you are. We've never met you before in our life, and for all we know, you could be a criminal shithead.
But thanks for paying us.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You're our new best friend. We love you. Call us anytime. Things are great. We love best to you and your hairy tees, and we hope everything's going lovely, and remember, 21 EPMs, check your prostate each year. Thanks.
That's right.
Look at that, $50. We could do that for $50. And instead of doing an episode of the commercial break, we could just sit here all day long and do cameos. We'd probably make a lot more money.
We probably would.
Of course, that's not saying much either.
I say we start it. That and Feet Finder.
Foot Finder.
Yeah.
Still haven't gotten... I've checked my Foot Finder, 4 weeks ago, and I had 6 views. No payments, no requests for more feet photos. Just
Did you actually put your
views.
feet up there?
I did. I put a couple pictures of my feet.
Can we see the pictures?
Yeah, I'll show them to you. Yeah. It's not, listen, it's, their feet. It is what it is. I don't have stubby toes or anything. I've been told I have pretty feet, but I was told by the cashier at Publix.
Well, I was told by a guy at the DMV that I have pretty toes.
There you go.
Really?
It's not true, but he told me.
Well, it's because he's a creep. It's because he wants to suck your toes. Which, by the way, is my nightmare fetish. The last thing I want to be sucking on is toes.
Toes.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Astrid and I share that in common. It's our anti-fetish. We're toes. We would keep socks on if we could all the time. I don't keep socks on during the summer. I wear sandals. But what I'm saying is I don't have any interest in getting toes involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, a lot of people feel that way. And then other people really love feet and toes.
You're into toes, right? Oh, I thought you were into toes.
I get a regular pedicure. I like to have nice toes.
But you're not toes aren't a thing for you.
No.
It's not a fetish for you. Was it Tina? I'm sorry, Tina, if I'm bastardized. Someone was here and said they liked feet. And I'm sure it wasn't my wife, and I'm sure it wasn't me.
It's a major thing.
It's a big thing. Mm-hmm. People are really into toes. I wonder if for $550 we could get Matt Gaetz to talk to our toes. You know what I'm saying?
Gross.
I don't know.
I don't want anything to do with him.
Oh my God. They were pointing out they were doing a side by side of him with when he started in Congress and now, and how much plastic surgery has been done on his face. They were doing this with a lot of, listen, I think this could be said, this is representative of an entire population. I'm not trying to point anything out, but they were doing, someone was saying there is a trend on TikTok right now to show what's called MAGA face, right? People who are in Trump's orbit who have gotten a lot of plastic surgery done to their face. And so it's like all these side by sides, and there's like, tons of reels out there showing different people, Laura Loomer and, whoever. And so they were showing Matt Gaetz, and I was like, wow, he really like dolled up his face. He went from looking like a rat to being a rat, like being officially a mouse. It was incredible. And
what did he have done?
He got his eyebrows lifted. He had clearly had something like a lot of Botox in his forehead and eyes. He had his nose. I think he had
People can really go overboard with that eyebrow lift. I swear, I watched enough. We watch reality TV, and I think I watch even more of the Housewives and that kind of thing. And it can be really weird looking.
It is really weird looking. I get it. Like as you grow older, those muscles start to fade, and so your eyebrows start to droop a little bit. But then when you get them, and you're like the Wicked Witch of the West. I mean, honestly,
total.
It looks so weird. And he had this huge, just almost like angular lines. Like someone had literally taken fish hooks and pulled his eyebrows up, and it does look a little disconcerting. And I've seen people out in in the grocery store, and then there's this new trend for women to get 6-inch eyebrows. Have you seen this too? Some people, they're painting on eyebrows that are 6 inches thick. I mean, I swear to God, they're halfway up their forehead. And I think to myself, there are a lot of people in this world, and some of them are not well.
Exactly.
Because what makes you think that looks good?
You can always get back to that saying.
Yeah, I basically run through life thinking that to myself. When I get behind an old lady that's driving slow, there are so many people in this world, and most of them are not well. When I see the eyebrow lift, so many people in this world, most of them are not well. When I see that 4 people have actually paid Matt Gaetz for a cameo, there are so many people in this world, and 4 of them are not well.
I know.
That's
just
what I
true.
think. I know. I really wanted to get somebody like Big Ed or somebody on Cameo. I wanted to send them a request, like an almost ridiculous request, to do a cameo, pay the $100 or whatever it was, and then run it on the commercial break.
Oh, that's
as
a good idea.
joke. It would be if it wasn't against their terms of service to do that. You can't actually do that. Who I really wanted to
for
get.
For private use only?
You can only use it for private use. You can't redistribute it. So Dr. Nowzart.
Is that like a Cameo policy, or is that Big Ed's policy?
Well, no, it's a Cameo
Big Ed
policy.
should open it up.
Yeah, Big Ed should open it up, because if he could do cameos on the commercial break, I'd be paying every episode to get a new Big Ed.
You might just want to message him independently. Slide into his DMs.
I did. I slid into his DMs, and I asked him to come on the show. Of course, that's when we had 6 listeners and no interviews. Now we have 10 listeners and a couple of interviews, so maybe I'll try again.
Yeah,
I don't
should try again.
I mean, we did have some luck doing that. The first person ever that we asked to be on the show through Instagram DM immediately responded to us as if they were up waiting for us to call them. It was like, wow, okay, all right. But I tried to get Big Ed on the show, and on Instagram you have a limit as to how many private messages you can only send, I don't know what it is, 2 messages.
Oh, I didn't realize
if they don't accept your message request, and if they don't allow you to instant message them when they're verified or whatever, then you can't send them any more messages. So I've reached my limit with Big Ed, but Big Ed, I implore you, you're welcome on the show anytime. I know there's some downtime for you right now, bud. So if you'd like to, you're welcome to come on the show, or just allow me to use a cameo and I'll pay you to be on the show.
Maybe I should slide into the DMs.
Oh, you know what? Knowing Big Ed the way that I know him from reality TV, knowing Big Ed the way that I know him, I would bet you have a much better chance of getting Big Ed to respond to you than I do. And so maybe you should. On this break, why don't you DM Big Ed and say, Big, would you come on?
Biggie.
Say, Biggie, would you come on the show? Pretty please. And then show him a picture of your feet.
Okay.
Because if there's one person in this world that I am almost positive is into feet, it's Big Ed.
I did just get a pedicure, so why not?
Krissy, you are hot to trot, babe. I just love you so much. Jeff, you're in for a rollicking good time tonight. Krissy's got those feet shined and primed. All right. Have you seen the new, not Ivan Reitman, but who's his son? Jason Reitman? Is it Jason Reitman? I think it's Jason Reitman. He made a movie about the very first night of the night that Saturday Night Live went live. Mm-hmm. He made a movie about it. And there are a bunch of people that play, Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase and, all these other characters, John Belushi in this movie. And I saw like an extended trailer. It was like 7.5 minutes long. And it was absolutely, to me, fascinating because I am fascinated by Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
The mechanics of it, how it works. Is Jason Reitman, Christina? It's Jason Reitman.
Good job, Bryan.
Thanks. Look, I can get a White House press credential too. You're not the only ones.
Even a blind squirrel gets a nut sometimes.
The broken clock is right twice a day. So this movie that he made,
I think I heard about that.
I heard about it, but then until I saw the trailer, I didn't even remember that they had talked about making this movie. But now they've made it, and it does look fascinating. And I would love to watch this movie. I don't know.
Sure,
it's like out in independent theaters or something like that. I don't know what's going on. Can you tell me when that movie is coming out?
Before no time.
Okay. Yeah, I want to see when it's going to be on the streamers because that's when I'll really see it. Because seeing Wicked the other day, it was literally an act of Congress to get out of this house.
I know.
And that's never going to happen again until Gustavo and Ale, congratulations to both of you, until they come back here and decide to watch the kids for us. But go ahead.
Sorry, you can buy it on Apple TV, Amazon Prime, et cetera, et cetera.
How much is it?
$20.
Jesus, Jones.
I know.
Come on. It's almost as much to go to the movie theater.
That's yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm not going to buy it yet. I'll wait a couple of years until it comes out on Netflix.
Can you rent it?
Yeah, you can buy it, but I don't think you can rent it. No. They have a period where you can buy it, and then they have the rental period too. Usually it's the other way around. Usually you can rent it first, and then you get to buy it later. Go ahead.
So you can buy it for $24.99 or rent it for $19.99.
Oh, well,
buy it.
I know.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Why rent it? And then you got that 2-day period where you have to watch it, and that to me is the killer. I always just decide to buy it because I'm like, I'm never going to get this done in 2 days. Never.
Really?
No.
I'm the opposite because when I go to rent something, I'm like, I want to watch it right now.
Yes, I am also like that, but no, my children do not allow me to do that. That is a complete farce. It's like,
you can't follow through with that.
No. I was thinking, it's like getting 5 minutes of work done at any time of the day or night in a row, 5 minutes in a row is nearly impossible with the chaos that goes on in this house. And I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world, but there's just a certain rhythm to the way things go.
I get it.
And I know it's going to take me 3 to 4 days to watch 2 hours of anything in a row. But this Saturday Night Live, you remember we had Rosebud Baker on?
We did.
Rosebud Baker is a writer, a senior writer for Saturday Night Live. And it kind of explained to us the chaos that goes into writing an episode of Saturday Night Live. It is they have 1 day off a week, and then the rest of the week they are there till midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, trying to get this show ready to be broadcast to millions of people live every week. And they do 2 of those shows. They do one in the afternoon, and they do one during the night when it's live. So it's a big lift to get all of that done, to try and make it funny. There's 12 to 15 skits that go into each show. There's musical acts. It's got to be so frenetic and so incredible to watch that all come together to do it for the first time.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine.
When Lorne Michaels put this together and pitched the network, he didn't even tell them what the show was going to be about. He just said, listen, it's going to be a comedy show live on Saturday night. I need an hour and a half after the news broadcasts. And the network said, okay, sure. And he knew they knew the players that were involved. And I'm sure they had people at rehearsals. But I can almost imagine just how crazy that first night was, especially with the personalities that were on board.
Yeah, get your cocaine ready, boys. We're doing a show.
Yes, Chevy Chase was a walking 8-ball in the 70s and 80s. And he has admitted as such.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't there a movie about like Chevy Chase being stuck in a room with somebody doing cocaine at a country club for days in a row? Does this sound familiar to you?
No.
Can you Google Chevy Chase cocaine country or hotel movie? I don't know. There's something.
In Caddyshack?
There's a documentary about this. Go ahead. Did you find it?
No.
Okay. I remember reading about this or hearing about. Maybe we even talked about it. But like, yes, lots of cocaine, lots of liquor. You have John Belushi, who is, by all accounts, a pretty hot mess, but also extraordinarily talented. And they're all trying to come together to put on a live television show on a broadcast network when broadcast networks were the only game in town. So there are probably millions, if not tens of millions of people that are tuning in to see this new television show on one of the 3 channels that they had after the network news. It just seems so exciting to me. And I would love to go up there and watch a Saturday Night Live taping.
Oh, yeah.
Rosebud, because I know you follow the commercial break. Dear Rosebud, please send tickets ASAP, backstage passes if you would, all access, so that I can come back and report on that frenetic energy here at the commercial break. That would be, to me, that is on the bucket list. Go see a taping of Saturday Night Live. And I've had friends who've gone and seen tapings.
I've had friends that have gone too.
And I've had friends who have gone to the rehearsals who were lucky enough to get the rehearsal tickets. And they said it's just like, it's amazing. It's crazy how it all comes together. It's so fast. It's so whiz bang. And I want to see the movie. Jason, put it on Netflix so that we can all watch it at our own time without having to pay extra money. Poor Jason. But here's the crazy thing is I never even heard about the movie coming out in the movie theaters. Or maybe it didn't. Maybe it went straight to video. Maybe Wicked and that goddamn Gladiators pushed it out. Or probably Twisters pushed it out of the movie. Twisters with Glenn Fry or whatever his name is. What's his name? Glenn
Powell?
Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell. What's his next
Glenn
movie?
Fry, he was in the Eagles.
No, I know. Glenn Fry was in the Eagles. Glenn Fry, talk about a walking 8-ball. Glenn Fry from the Eagles. He might still be a walking 8-ball. I think he's actually been sober for many years, but Glenn Fry is so fucking talented. You know, I saw him on that. Remember that for a while there on VH1, they had that live from Daryl's house?
Yes.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was the Daryl Hall, John Oates of Daryl.
Yeah,
that's the Daryl.
That's the Daryl. They're not exactly Hall and Oates anymore. They're having a little disagreement. Oates wants out, and Hall won't let him go. It's like crazy. But in that disagreement, I guess in that period of we're not hanging out together anymore, Hall got what's that disease you get from lice, from deer lice?
Lyme disease?
Lyme disease. He got Lyme disease. It affected him terribly. From ticks. And not lice. What's the difference, really, at the end of the day? Ticks, lice. He got bit by a deer tick. He got that Lyme disease. It affected him terribly. He was sick for many years, actually, I think is what he said. And then as he started to get better, he couldn't play out in the public. So he was inviting people to come and play with him.
I saw quite a few of those. It was cool.
Well, at first, according to him, he was literally just inviting people over to come play. Like there was no cameras or anything in his big barn where he had set up this music studio. People were coming to say, hey, hope you feel better, helping him get better playing music. And then he put some cameras in there and did live from Daryl's house. And he had some really great, talented musicians come up there, play their songs, play Hall & Oates songs, and just have a good time, eat some dinner and have a good time. And it was all taped. And I saw Glenn Fry do an episode, and he is so fucking good at what he does. He's so talented. If I just had 1 inch of that talent, then maybe there's a chance Astrid stays with me till I pass away. Just 1 inch of that guitar talent. That's all I want. But no, Bryan can't even play Home Sweet Home from Motley Crue.
Keep practicing.
Yeah. You know that that Home Sweet Home song is now in a car commercial. And so every time I hear it, every time Astrid and I are in the same room and it comes on, Astrid looks at me. Is that the song you were trying to play?
That's it.
Yes, dear. That's the song that I was trying to play.
It's the effort.
Yeah. And, have you read the Saturday Night Live book? Have you read the book about Saturday Night Live?
I haven't, but I feel like I've seen quite a few documentaries from different perspectives of different people on it.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating. I love it. I love everything about it.
What was your favorite, cast of Saturday Night Live?
Oh, God. There's so many. There really are.
But what do you think?
I don't think everybody was there at the same time.
Yeah.
That I truly love.
Yeah.
I mean, just off the top of the head, it's got to be Chris Farley, Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell, obviously. I love whenever, although never actually a cast member, Steve Martin has been on quite a few times.
He's like the person who's hosted the most or something.
Yeah. God, Amy Poehler, the
Kristen Wiig.
I said Kristen Wiig.
Oh, you said Kristen Wiig?
Yeah. Who's the other one? Maya Rudolph.
Maya Rudolph is so good.
Yeah,
she
so
is
many.
So
I mean,
good.
so many.
Talented.
I mean, think about Dana Carvey.
Oh yeah,
and
Mike Myers.
and Mike Myers.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy was fantastic.
Yeah, there's
John
so many.
Belushi,
John
Chevy
Belushi,
Chase, Dan Aykroyd.
Exactly. Over the
Garrett
years.
Morris. What's her? Lorraine Boozler. But who was the other one? Rosanna Dana. You know what I'm talking about. She was married to.
Yes. Rita.
I can't remember her name, but she was.
She died early.
My dad used to watch. My dad, everybody in my family, my grandparents and everybody, used to watch Saturday Night Live. So when I was growing up, I would see, not only would I see the new episodes, but then they would rerun old episodes during when they were not live.
Well,
So
I mean, it's literally been around for 50 years.
50 years. But I just remember as a kid that Saturday Night Live kind of being the mainstay. You get on Saturday Night Live, Saturday night, I would be allowed to stay up and watch TV.
Yeah.
And, got a little extra slack. And it was one of the shows that was a little bit more adult that I was allowed to watch. And my dad just loved it. He loved seeing John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. And
my parents
Steve
loved
Martin
it too.
Cut up. He thought it was the greatest thing. When they did that, when they did the Blues Brothers, or when, who was that? The father that would come on, the smoking cigarettes, the father on the newscast, and all the newscasters over the years. We can just like so talented. And I think the guys who are doing the Saturday Night Live news right now are so incredibly talented.
Who's the guy that's married? God, who's the guy that's married to Scarlett Johansson?
Colin Jost.
Colin Jost. I love
and
him.
Michael Che.
And Michael Che.
Michael Che.
They may be the best that have ever done it. And there's been a lot.
Not better than Seth Meyers.
I don't know. I
think
might.
he was the best.
Seth Meyers was great. Dennis Miller was great. Colin, what's his name, did it for a while. Colin Quinn did it for a while.
Oh my God.
Chevy Chase, I think, even did it for a few minutes. Just like.
Well, he was only on it for one season.
I know. And
crazy to think about.
Yeah, crazy to think about. But then, Chevy's never been one to get along with humans.
Exactly.
Chevy's never been one to get along with humans. He is so fucking talented, but he apparently was so full of himself that he was just very full of himself and full of Brazil's finest. That Colombia's marching powder. That it just became impossible to work with him, and people were. But I think he left the show because he wasn't being billed as the biggest star. I think he
was getting into movies.
Yeah, and he did some great ones. Classic movies. So I really want to see this.
There was a making of Caddyshack that I just watched recently, and it's really good.
A documentary?
Yes.
A making of Caddyshack?
The making of Caddyshack.
Yeah.
It's a really good one.
Yeah, Bill Murray wasn't even supposed to be in that movie.
Right.
Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, and Chevy Chase hated each other.
They did.
By all accounts.
I know.
Didn't they get into a fist fight once or something?
Yeah.
And they hated each other so much that I think they're only in one scene together in the entire movie. And then they had to be separated. They had to come in on set at different times because...
Yeah, they made it work for the movie, but they did hate each other.
Hated each other because Bill Murray was kind of the anti-ego to Chevy Chase's ego, but Bill Murray's turn in Caddyshack is like star making.
He was only available for like 2 days or something that they had him, and so they talk about how he had to come in and. Of course, he was only supposed to have one line or something like that, and then he kind of
improv the whole thing.
Everybody loved him. The set is like set at an actual country club down in Florida.
I know. Didn't they buy like a country or rent a country club?
They didn't buy it, but they had to like rent it out. And again, it was for a very short time too, because it was an actual working country club.
Yeah, and they were like staying at the country club, like the hotel
inside
of the country
next
club.
to it. And they said it was a party all the time.
Of course.
And it's a very interesting documentary. It's on Amazon.
We should rent a country club and do a couple episodes of the commercial break and see how things go. We just get like stockpiled drugs and alcohol. Leave our kids, hide your kids, hide your wife kind of thing, and just make episodes of the commercial break at the highest level of craziness. Yes, TCB Gone Wild. I'll flash the camera. We'll put that TCB Gone Wild thing.
We'll film it on OnlyFans.
Oh man, if we could only make money on OnlyFans, we wouldn't be here. I do this because I have no choice. There is no OnlyFans option for me. If you would just want to see my penis, then I wouldn't have to do this over and over again. What's up with you guys and girls, mainly, or guys, mainly? I don't know. I'm a friend of the gays. What can I say? There's a drop for you, Christina. I'm a friend of the gays. What can I say? Yeah, so I'll watch that Saturday Night Live documentary and then or mockumentary, I guess, and I'll get back to you on.
Please do report back.
I will, and I am not watching a lot of Saturday Night Live right now. Astrid watches it, but I'm not watching a lot of Saturday Night Live right now because I just don't have a lot of extra time. But I think Saturday
Because you're watching 1,000-Pound Sisters.
1,000-Pound Sisters is a fantastic show. No replacement for Saturday Night Live, but it's also not on at midnight on Saturday when you have 13 to 15 children. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I do record it, but I don't find myself getting around to it. 1,000-Pound Sisters comes first.
I know.
Tammy and whatever her name are, they come first. They always will. They're my friends on the TV. Yes. Both of them has lost a ton of weight. There's no more 1,000 pounds about it. They have lost a ton of weight. And, good. Yeah, good. They'll live a couple more years. That Tammy, she was really, really sick for a while there. But how did I get on 1,000-Pound Sisters? Oh, because you said 1,000-Pound Sisters.
Because you said you're not watching Saturday Night Live. Do
you disagree with my taste in television, Krissy? Because every time I see a television show, it ends up somehow, you and Jeff are in there watching it, getting wrapped into it.
Well, no, you talk about it so much that I feel like I should watch it to see for research purposes what you're talking about. Then I get sucked in. Then I suck Jeff in, and it's a whole cycle.
Likely story.
I think
Krissy.
you need to start going to Saturday Night Live. And then we can talk about that.
Okay, you take the kids every Saturday Night Live from 11:30 to 1:30.
You record it.
I record it. I just told you I can't even watch a movie in 4 days. How am I supposed to get an hour and a half of Saturday Night Live in every time? Here's why 1,000-Pound Sisters is great.
90-Day Fiancé is an hour and a half.
Here's why it's great. I'll explain. There is no paying attention to it whatsoever. You can literally tune in and tune out with your brain.
This is true, and that's why I like it too.
It's not, you don't have to hang on every word, but if you're going to watch a comedy skit, you better pay attention because it's likely to be funny at some point and you want to laugh. There is going to be it's all so formulaic, reality television is. It's also formulaic. You know what's going to happen. And it's also written. It's like literally a written show. So there's going to be drama between the sisters. They're going to get into a fight. Then they're going to go on a big trip and everything's going to be fine. And then next season they're going to get into a fight again. And then everything's going to be fine after the production crew flies them to some far-flung location. Right now, the 1,000-Pound Sisters are about to go to London. They're going to go to London. They're going to get on a plane for the first time in their lives, apparently, and go to London. Do you think they come up with that idea? Fuck no, they didn't come up with that idea. They haven't left West Kentucky in their entire lives, and now they're flying to London? It's ridiculous. 2 weeks ago, they met with a genealogy specialist to see if they were related to the Queen of England. It's like the most ridiculous thing ever. But guess what?
Were they?
Now, we don't know. Maybe. We couldn't go back
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week. Let's go to London because we have to find out if we're... It's so stupid. And guess what? Every single reality show on TLC and everywhere else does the same fucking thing.
I know.
You get a hit on your hands, you tape some people, and they're doing their lives, and you piece it together, you edit
That's
it the right way.
That's why I like the first season of any kind of reality show.
Third season's always good. Fourth season,
because they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
It is true reality, I think, to some degree.
I can almost tell you what my seven little Johnstons will be every single week.
Right.
There's some kind of family dynamic drama. Then we play a game. We do something interesting. We go on a trip, and then the drama gets resolved at the end. And then there's a new drama. Stay tuned next week. Here it comes. That's how it goes. You know why? Because Bryan knows how reality TV goes because I watch entirely too much of it. Saturday Night Live, save me.
Yes, let's start watching Saturday Night Live.
I will. Okay, fine.
Just sprinkle it. There's just one a week.
But that's true. It's not that big of a lift. Sprinkle it in.
Sprinkle it in amongst your viewing habits.
I will. Well, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about your yacht rock.
Oh my God, it's so good. Speaking of Hall & Oates. Yeah.
Yeah, yacht rock is making a comeback.
Yeah, there's that documentary.
It's been around here in Atlanta for a long time, though. This is nothing new to us
well,
here
there's
in
the
Atlanta.
band.
Yeah,
Yacht
but they
Rock.
have made it they've made that style of music very popular. It's a whole event. Every time they play, everybody gets together and does the whole ditty. And young people, too, like, 18, 19, 21 years old.
So Christopher Cross is like supposedly, according to this documentary, the king of yacht rock.
He created yacht rock.
Sailing
takes me away to where I want to.
Dun, dun, dun.
We've been singing this song since season 2.
I love some Christopher
We
Cross.
are ahead of the trend for once. But don't ask me to talk about White House press briefings. Yacht rock I got. I can't go to the press briefing. All right, TCBpodcast.com. That's where you get more information about the show. All the audio, all the video. Every episode now is on video. It's available on the website. Also available at youtube.com/The Commercial Break. Or you can do the little @ symbol, TCB Podcast, in the search bar, and up will come our podcast. Go ahead and follow us, like, comment on your favorite video. We certainly would appreciate it. Share if you dare. Share if you dare. Share if you care.
It looks like we got some shares from that Spotify.
Yeah, hey, listen, we didn't do too
Spotify
bad.
Wrapped.
We're up 1,000% with the 18 to 25-year-olds, which was
We went from 2 to 10.
We went from 2 to 10. It's highly surprising, but that's the power of small numbers. Add the commercial break on Instagram, TCB Podcast on TikTok. Please do us a favor and follow us. We certainly would appreciate it. Share if you care. Also, 212-433-3822. That's 212-433-3TCB. Questions, comments, concerns, content ideas, we will take them all right there. You can also request your free sticker via the phone or
your Cameo.
Or your Cameo. Please, Cameo. All right, Krissy, well, I guess that's all I can do for now.
I think so.
But I'll tell you that I love you.
I love you.
I'll say best to you.
Best to you.
And best to you out there in the podcast universe. Until next time, Krissy and I always say, we do say, and we must say,
Goodbye.